Right. Okay, let me just extract some stuff. So this question is on regional development. What they would have done, they would have kind of separated regional development and regional integration in terms of regional development is more where we're looking at natural resources and what they started to bring now with the geography questions, and with regional integration we know of course is with the agencies and all of that. So the first question here, map of the Caribbean. I think that you all could see my picture. So state the name of the country that is marked X on the map.
Miss, you can zoom in, please.
So maybe just now. Aha, that's true. In the chat, tell me what country. Just type in what country is marked there. So I saw one answer.
Oh my, and look off my face.
One person alone, no? Tia. Very good, Tia. So that country there is Jamaica. So, ladies and gentlemen, you should know where the Caribbean islands are located because this is last year for the June paper, they brought a map asking about two places. This year, January, they brought a map again asking about a region. So you must know where your Caribbean islands are located. So that is Jamaica. Above Jamaica, there, who do we have here above Jamaica?
The Bahamas. Miss, you're pointing so like the one directly above it or like the one above that one?
The one you see in my cursor?
Oh, okay. That one is Cuba.
Very good, Cuba. Next to Cuba here, we have two separated there. Who do we have here closer to Cuba?
Miss, I could give the rest of them a chance.
Good one there. Haiti. Good. Next to Haiti, who do we have?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. And I'll go one more. Next to no, I'll go three more. Next to Dominican Republic, who we have here?
Miss, that one is the US and the British Virgin Islands.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this one here. This one right here next to the big one next to Dominican Republic.
Mrs. Status a P?
Yes, it does.
Oh, Miss, I get so much trouble with that one. Oh my gosh. I keep thinking Puerto Rico and it's not Puerto Rico.
It is Puerto Rico, sweetheart.
Oh!
Yes, that is Puerto Rico. And let's come down here. This one where the cursor is on here. This is who?
Is Guyana?
Yes,
there.
that is Guyana. And next to Guyana here is
Suriname.
Suriname. Good. I just went through those because I would have seen that in the last two past papers. So you all need to know where your Caribbean islands are located. Identify two common natural resources that can be found on the island named in A. So what are two natural resources found in Jamaica?
Limestone. I think it's bauxite.
And bauxite.
Bauxite is one, yes, good. I got two persons saying bauxite.
Limestone.
Limestone, very good. So we have bauxite and limestone. So just giving full details, 3 measures that can be used to encourage sustainable development. Explain why 2 of the suggested measures are likely to be successful. So here they're asking about sustainable development. So you need to know what is sustainable development in order to answer this question. This question here. So we know that sustainable development is the use of resources moderately so that it will be able to sustain the future generations and all of that. So 3 measures that can be used to encourage sustainable development are using renewable or alternative sources of energy. That's 1. Protecting natural resources through action and education. That's 2. And enforcing and implementing environmental laws and policies. Anytime we're looking at measures to encourage or what can be done to assist, one of your easiest answers to go to is implementing laws and policies. It's just like just telling you all that. Because a lot of answers in this section looks at laws and policies being implemented and enforced. So using renewables, we're looking at 2 measures. Why the 2 measures will be successful? Using renewable and alternative sources of energy will be effective because it cuts down the use and exploitation of non-renewable resources. So instead, if they use things like the sunlight or wind energy, they will not have to exploit or make use of non-renewable resources. And enforcing and implementing environmental laws and policies will be successful as it encourages businesses, individuals, and governments to act responsibly as there are penalties in place if they do not act so. So they might have laws in place that if businesses dispose of their waste irresponsibly, they may be fined and all of that. So this helps to encourage sustainable development. Define the term global warming. So last year and this January paper, we would have seen what, if you are doing geography, you'd realize it kind of overlapping with this section here, and it becomes a bit easier for you. For those who have not done or are not doing geography, that means you have to get into your natural resources. So global warming occurs when greenhouse gases do not escape the atmosphere and, and absorb sunlight and radiation from the earth. So they just want a definition in your own words of global warming. Describe one effect of global warming on the tourism industry in the Caribbean. So because of global warming, there is climate change. Climate change leads to rise in sea level and stronger, more frequent natural disasters such as hurricanes. So how does it affect the tourism industry? In the Caribbean, natural disasters reduce the desire of tourists to visit, and the beaches that tourists enjoy are at risk of disappearing due to rise in sea level. So global warming will affect the tourism industry in the Caribbean in this way. Outline 3 strategies that the government may implement to address the problems of global warming. Explain why 2 of the outlined strategies is likely to work. As I said before, you can't go wrong with implementing policies and laws. So the first one, governments can implement policies to deal with the effects of global warming. And you need to say what it is. So this includes the banning of harmful products that contribute to global warming. They could educate the citizens about global warming and the harm that it does to the environment and what can be done to reduce the impact. Through education, the public will know and understand the impact, and this will encourage them to make better choices when it comes to the environment. And the last one, promote and encourage the use of renewable energy. Through the use of renewable energy, it reduces the burning of fossil fuels, which is a major contributor to greenhouse gases. So that is how you answer there that regional development question. We will go now to the regional integration question. And this is the last of this group of questioning. So somebody has up something. I like that one better, but there's also this one. So Tia would have shared something in the chat so you could check it out. When you could save the link so you could see it after. Thank you, Tia. Right, so let's look at the regional integration question now. You know, everybody is afraid of regional integration apparently. But there's nothing to be afraid of with the regional integration question. So Tia, they asking if you can send the two links that you would have sent, if you could send it in the WhatsApp chat.
Oh, Miss, I'm not in the WhatsApp chat.
Oh, okay. So Tia, not in the WhatsApp chat, guys. So you'll have to take it from here. All right. So regional integration. Before we start with regional integration, tell me, why are you all afraid of regional integration questions?
Miss, I find for me personally, like to memorize all the dates for the specific events and then what countries going in that specific event and group, it just kind of hard.
All right. Anybody else? Before I share a little tip and trick about dealing with regional integration questions. So everybody else good with regional integration questions? That is lovely to hear.
No, miss.
Well, I need you to tell I need you to tell me why or what about regional integration questions causes great anxiety.
But you know, when I decide to provide like a suggestion or action and say why it's likely to be successful, that part of the regional integration questions in the essays, that's kind of, just run out of things to say. So I just want you to provide me with the necessary information to be ready to go in the examination room tomorrow.
All right. So if I can't explain it, it's just confusing. All right. So with regional integration questions, if you notice, they ask mostly about CARICOM, CSME. I think 1 year saw OECS and 1 year saw ACS. So that's the four regional integration institutions that ask about. Most of the time, the answers throughout the organizations are similar. We know regional integration is the region coming together, working together for economic growth and development. So anything that is being asked, it is surrounding that theme of the region working together. So no matter what they ask, you always bring it back to the region working together for economic growth and development. Now, the part with specifically where you might have to remember about CARICOM, what they do, what CSME do, guys are new to actually learn those, but it doesn't make sense trying to learn everything because you're going to forget. As Thea said, it's going to be confusing. They might ask about West Indian Federation, and what make it nice with West Indian Federation, it collapsed. So it doesn't remember, if anything, about West Indian Federation, when it was established, the purpose, and why it collapsed. When it was established, 1958, The purpose was for the region to come to work together. Why it collapsed? When Jamaica left, Trinidad said, 1 from 10 leaves 0, they out too, and well, it disintegrate. And with CARICOM, it was formed to meet the economic development needs of the region and to help each other out and that kind of thing. So it's just keeping the main theme of regional integration is the Caribbean countries working together. So, like this question that I'm going to share with you, it requires you to remember what the acronym stands for. So that you might need to pay attention to. So let me just share my screen here. So like this question says, choose one regional agency, give its full name as well as its acronym, and explain its purpose, stating one reason why it is needed. So the one regional agency is Caribbean Community or CARICOM. So one time I give the full name and the acronym. The purpose of CARICOM is to improve the economic development of Caribbean member states by working together, see the main theme there, to remove barriers to trade and establish cooperation. It is needed as together Caribbean countries have greater economic leverage as they can compete in international markets. They can assist each other through the sharing of resources, especially in times of need and crisis. So if you look, the main theme there is the Caribbean countries working together. So you just need to remember about trade, removing barriers to trade, working together economically. Identify one example, real or imagined, of a situation to which this agency may respond. Describe what its response might be and how this response would benefit both the public and regional integration. So we have a lot of examples in the Caribbean. I would have used the example of the earthquake in Haiti in 2010. What other example or what other country do we have an example of a situation to which CARICOM might have responded?
Was it Jamaica when we had the hurricane?
Who had the hurricane? Which country?
Jamaica. Was it
Right. So recently, Jamaica had a hurricane. Good. Nobody know what any. Hello, we all living in the Caribbean. Yes, Rachel.
I don't know, miss.
You don't know Francis?
No.
All right. Rachel, I'm assuming you're from Grenada.
Yes, miss.
Uh-huh.
Miss?
Yes, Grenada had a hurricane, Hurricane Ivan.
That was in 2004.
Yes. So that is one example. So
Okay.
good. So
Miss,
Haiti.
the furthest we could date back a example.
No, it doesn't have any it doesn't have a date. It just needs to be while CARICOM was established. You can't go beyond before CARICOM. You can't say 1952.
Okay, Miss.
Right? So we have Haiti 2010, the earthquake. We have Jamaica's hurricane that just happened. That was last year. We have 2004 Hurricane Ivan in Grenada that CARICOM responded to. So what this agency would have done in response of, they would have rallied together to send relief and assistance to rebuild Haiti, because we're talking about Haiti here in my answer. This would be beneficial to, or this would benefit the public and regional integration as it unites the nation, as they helped another country that was in need, and gives assurance to other countries that in the face of need and crisis, the Caribbean will come together to help. So this is how they responded, and this is how it will benefit. Because if I help you, chances are I end up in the same situation, you will help me. And this is what this question here is answering. Analyze the impact of the chosen region agency's response in the situation you identify. Discuss how this response could strengthen regional cooperation and address long term challenges faced by Caribbean countries. So, the impact of CARICOM in response to any situation faced by member states strengthens regional cooperation as it builds regional resilience. It shows that the region is united and supportive to ensure that no one is left behind. It encourages the region to use their resources jointly to assist in problems and challenges that could exist throughout the region. Through working together, it helps to reduce any tensions among member states and also brings security and support. Because of the region's vulnerability to natural disasters, CARICOM knows the importance of each one help one, as any disaster can happen to any country in the region and they will need the assistance of others. So this is how it addressed the long-term challenge faced by the Caribbean countries, because we are vulnerable to natural disasters in the entire Caribbean region. So if Trinidad and Tobago helps Grenada, if something happens in Trinidad and Tobago, a natural disaster, we can be, or we can rest assured, or we can only hope that Grenada will return the favor and help us. Just like when Jamaica had the hurricane, persons would have sent relief to Jamaica. If something happens in another part of the Caribbean country that would have helped Jamaica, Jamaica would not hesitate to help that Caribbean country. So that is how that will work. So somebody said Hurricane Melissa. Miss, to be honest, I won't think about that. And yeah, you have to think about it. You have to think about it, Mr. Francis. Define the term regional integration. And sometimes the question comes as simple as this definition here. Regional integration is Caribbean states working together to achieve economic objectives which would make the region better off. It is the Caribbean states working together. Simple as that. Regional integration, the region coming together to work together. But you need to also remember the economic, to achieve the economic objectives. Identify two benefits and two drawbacks of Caribbean citizens being free to live and work in any CARICOM country. Propose two solutions to the drawbacks you have identified. It asking for two advantages and two disadvantages, basically. So don't let the term drawbacks make you get confused. Right, let me see if anybody's saying anything. No? Okay, good. So two benefits of Caribbean countries, two benefits of Caribbean citizens being free to live and work in any CARICOM country. Tell me.
Miss, can you repeat?
Sure.
Miss, you could repeat after me, please.
Sure. So just reading your response here, Francis. So yes, that's regional integration. So the question is two benefits of Caribbean citizens. So let me put it in the chat because I don't want to show you all the answer. Since you all don't like regional integration so much, let's get involved in regional integration so that tomorrow, please the Lord, we will hug that regional integration question. So identify two benefits and two drawbacks of CARICOM citizens being free to live and work in any CARICOM country. Propose two solutions to the drawbacks you identify. So you're just asking for two advantages and two disadvantages. Yes, Dana. So give me one benefit.
Miss, one benefit is what that boy? Miss, I completely forget what I was gonna say, But I know a drawback.
All right, well, give me a drawback then.
A drawback is eventually when it have too much people coming in, it will have like unemployment. Don't
All
you?
right, good. Can lead to unemployment. Anybody? Tanisha?
Wait, Miss, where were the challenges?
The benefits, the drawbacks, anyone that you could answer. Yes,
Its
Tanisha.
benefits is increased trade and economic growth.
Good. Tanisha.
A benefit could be wages are better in other CARICOM countries.
So, what is the benefit?
Improve wages.
Citizens can get more job opportunities with better wages.
All right. Good. Any drawback? So, in somebody say increase in human resources, good in that country.
Some countries, like how Dana had mentioned, brain drain.
Mm-hmm.
Some other Caribbean countries could experience that because their um young adults are integrated to somewhere else.
So,
Well,
yes.
migrated.
Right. Very good. Good. So, let me just share back so y'all could see what I had here. So, two benefits of them being able to live and work is if there's a shortage of labor in a country, they can encourage persons from other Caribbean countries to fill the labor force. And if a country is lacking job opportunities, the citizens can freely move to another country in the region where there are jobs in their skill. Two drawbacks of Caribbean citizens being free to live and work in any CARICOM country are businesses and agencies may want to employ nationals rather than workers from other Caribbean countries, which is nationalism. And also, there may be resentment towards migrants who are given government benefits to work in a country. So the citizens might find, but how them could come here and take we work? How them could get housing? So that could lead to resentment to a migrant.
Conflict.
Conflict, yes. Two solutions to the drawbacks are to have the government address this within their countries, letting their citizens understand the benefits of this form of regional cooperation, and by helping businesses understand as well the benefits for them, as this strengthens trade, as Rachel would have said, and skills distribution and the opportunities that they have as well to establish themselves in other Caribbean countries. Because what this here is saying that even though persons might be coming to your country, and I just use the term loosely, your country, it could be that um not it could be that, but you are now able to do the same. If you have a business, because there's free movement to live and to work, you could take your business to another country. So it works both ways. Now this one is asking about CSME. Outline three ways in which initiatives like the CSME. So it's not asking you specifically to tell them about CSME. So you don't have to panic. Lead to increased international competitiveness for Caribbean countries. So, three ways in which initiatives like CSME lead to increased international competitiveness for Caribbean countries are by the creation of a single market to facilitate trade. Trading as a group leverages good trade agreements and market access. I always use the example of bananas in Dominica. Dominica was I'm not too sure about right now, but Dominica used to be a large exporter of bananas. However, let us say a big country like China or the US wants to purchase bananas from Dominica. Dominica will not be able to supply the amount, the quality, the quantity of bananas. However, if we have Dominica, St. Vincent, and Grenada producing bananas, they can come together and sell their bananas together to China or to the United States. Now, this will give them the trading as a group gives leverage to the trade agreements because this means that Dominica cannot provide all that they might need, the quantity they might need. So they might just take their business elsewhere. But if Dominica decides to involve St. Vincent and Grenada, now they are able to supply the quantity, then they have access to the market and to the trade for the three countries. So it benefits the three of them. Another way is by having coordinated policies to trade in place where all countries have the same policies, taxes, etc. And thus it increases their negotiating power when it comes to trading on a global scale. So, in terms of regional integration and what we're talking about here, Caribbean countries need to see themselves as one market, as one region, and in doing so, by having the same type of policies for trade, they are now able to negotiate with the bigger markets, the bigger world powers when it comes to trade, and especially our resources. Another way is by through the formation of a trading bloc. By forming a trading bloc, Caribbean countries create stronger, more diverse economies by increasing the range, quantity, and quality of the products and services they sell. This improves international competitiveness. So it's the same thing I was saying about the bananas, where they remove all barriers to trade with each other so that they are able to join with each other to trade. So, as I said, regional integration, it may seem like a bit much, but the thing with regional integration is you just need to think about it. Think about what it means for your country, particularly because this is a regional exam. Think about it, how it can benefit your country participating, your country being part of this agency or this, how to put it, this thing that that we know as regional integration. No, your country may be on the lesser developed of the countries, but being part of the region or being part of an organization like CARICOM, they can be seen as a rich country because let us say you all produce, again, I'll use the example of bananas, you all produce bananas. The Caribbean bananas are of the best of the world. Then they can come to your country to help make up the quantity that they will use to export. So while some countries, we wouldn't call them poor, we just say less developed, more developed, and with agencies like CARICOM that could help less developed countries come up to a standard of being part of the more developed countries through trade, through removing barriers to trade, by involving them and all of that. And then we have here, so what I will leave out the essay. Here, discuss this essay, it looks on integration and independence. So it leads you to think a bit. So I'll just leave out the essay because I want to get into the two past paper and the past paper questions. So you can get an essay on regional integration, but again, because of the structure of the essay where they're asking you specifically what they want, it works out and it works out well. so that you are able to put the essay together and you don't have to think in terms of, when I say think, um, it mightn't be as difficult as having to remember 20 things about regional integration. So let's get into the two past paper questions, and that should take us to the appointed time. You're not too long, get a break, so I don't think you need a break again. You all need a 5 minute break.
Yes, miss.
Okay, Shanika and Annalise. You will just get a 5 minute break. Okay, Tia, I will add you to the group now. So I'm setting my alarm 5 minutes. Tia, are you from Trinidad? Is that a Trinidad number?
Yes, miss.
Okay. I'll ask Mr. Ballantyne to add you because I'm not getting to add you. Right. So your 5 minutes is up. So we're going to look at June 2025, paper 2. This was the first installment of this new structure of the exam. So yes, it's as new as last year. Right, so this paper consists of 2 sections, A and B. Section A consists of 4 questions. You must answer all 4 questions. Section B consists of 2 questions. You must answer both questions. When questions require an explanation, suggestion, proposal, or reason, you should develop your response fully. Write your answers in the spaces provided in this booklet. Yada, yada, yada. So let's go. So the first question here says, state 2 functions of the family. It is for 2 marks. They already gave you the space, so they just want you to list 2 functions. So you'll have to unmute your mic because I am not in the chat, in the Zoom,
Creation,
right?
Socialization and
position,
procreation.
Procreation and fertilization. I mean,
Good,
that's the thing. Procreation and emotional.
good. So we have procreation and socialization just for the purpose of adding the other 2, provision
Educational.
of economic needs. So education usually comes with socialization,
Okay, miss.
provision of emotional support. Right, so those are the 4 main functions. Of course, in socialization, we have education, transmission of culture, but these are the 4 main ones. You state 2, you get the 2 marks. Outline 2 factors that contribute to the changing roles of women in Caribbean families. So,
Technology.
women now
very
go out
good,
and work.
very
Mm.
Access to
good,
technology.
Available education
And
levels.
woman rights.
good, very good. So I heard all of the answers. So it is for 4 marks. So that means you might have to just elaborate a bit. So the first one, I heard we have greater recognition of women's rights. Now, so what does that mean? Okay, let me just sort out this here. Right. So greater recognition of rights of women, where women now have the right to,
Work.
good, very good, equal job opportunities or to work, very good, and as seen as equal in the home and relationships. Because remember before, we have the men being the decision makers, the decision takers, women just letting them know, okay, this is what is happening. Okay, so I'm getting into pull down. Another one here, I heard all of what you all said. Somebody said available technology. And when we're talking about available technology, we're looking at labor saving devices. What are some of those labor saving devices we're talking about here in the home?
Washing machine.
Appliances.
Very good.
Washing
Very
machine.
washing machines, vacuum, etc. Very good. And you need to state how that or what is the connection there to get the 4 marks, because this will only get you 1 mark. So available technology have reduced the time women spend doing housework. So now they have more time to take up paid jobs. They also have more leisure time as well.
Miss, is access to education one?
Yes, it is. So we have access to education, and you can't just, as I said before, you can't just have access to education. You need to explain what you mean. So access to education now, women have the opportunity to seek education or to get educational opportunities as opposed to before.
Okay.
I'll just put in a third one. I'll just put in a third one in the middle there, and I'll put it in red because they asked for two. But I'll put in a third one. So I'll just, put it in red. Good. So we have the high cost of living has forced some women to do what?
Go out and work.
Very good. To work outside of the home
Room.
to help spouses' income. And also, we have single mothers who have no choice, have to work to support their families. So it is just in red because it's a third one and they only ask for two. We also have things like greater choice of employment, where the traditional male jobs are now open to females. So now they have more job opportunities. Next question says, a social worker is concerned about the increasing number of women and children who are taken by force to perform certain jobs. Suggest two actions that a government may take to reduce the trafficking of persons. So immediately, what social issue we talking about here?
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking. Good.
Human trafficking.
Good. So one action that the government may take. So action number one, they can.
Education.
Very good. We have education. What else we have?
They can have
Enforce
laws.
campaigns.
Campaigns. Good.
Enforce laws.
Increasing
Enforcing laws.
Stricter laws.
Very
Like
good.
enforce any laws for like curfew for children under a certain age.
All right. So putting policies in place and different laws. Good. So we have here raise awareness and educate the population about human trafficking. So that is one thing they can do here. One action. Of course, they ask. Let me see if I can get this. No, it's not moving. How do we get this? Okay, right. So we'll go into it like that. The explanation. So raising awareness. So let's look at that. How will raising awareness likely to be successful? Raising awareness and education will be successful as the population will know what to look for and they will better understand, like if they're in a situation where they need to be alert or aware that, hey, this doesn't feel right. This could be human trafficking, something going to happen, and report it. So let me just see if I could get right. Good. Right, so I'm getting it on all these spaces. Very good. And the second one, so some of you all spoke about enforcing the laws. Another one could be working with international agencies to improve detection and prosecution of traffickers.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, like the airports and thing.
Yes, very good. The government could set up a human trafficking unit within the protection services to deal directly with these cases. So, like in some countries, they have a domestic violence unit in the police service. They could have it for human trafficking. And we have, of course, stricter and stronger laws and policies which serve as a deterrent to perpetrators. And seeing that the laws are stricter and being enforced, victims are encouraged to seek help or can be encouraged to seek help, knowing that something will be done. So let's go with working with international agencies. So they can work with international agencies to improve and I liked what Francis would have said there when you look at these international agencies in terms of at airports, especially
It's
where,
just.
where they take the people them out of their country, you never see them again. So if they have things in place, they can detect or they can realize and help stop the human trafficking.
Yeah, miss, like questioning and thing.
Like what?
Questioning.
Yes. And even detecting suspicious behavior as well. And some countries they may not have the resources to, so they might not have the technology available where they could like hack into person's phone or that kind of thing or surveillance. So they might need to get help from external or international agencies. So it says here, working with international agencies will likely to be successful as the country may not have the resources to detect or prosecute traffickers, and these agencies can assist with their expertise and resources to do so. So here, this is where you'll get the 4 marks for each part of the question. Number 2, identify 2 institutions or official posts that form part of the structure of the judiciary in the Caribbean.
The magistrate
The
and the
magistrate
supreme.
courts.
Very good. So I'm
The
hearing,
magistrate and supreme.
right. So I'm hearing the answers coming through. So we have the magistrates court, we have the Supreme Court. What other court we have?
Court of Appeal.
High court.
CCG.
Good. We have the CCJ as well.
Court of Appeal.
What does CCJ stand for?
Caribbean Court of
Judgment
Justice.
of Justice.
Very good. Good. Next question. Describe one role of the judiciary in the Caribbean. So, what is the role of the judiciary?
Interprets law.
So the ref-
To enforce laws.
Very good.
Enforce
Sure justice is served.
Very good.
Enforce laws and provide sanctions to those who break laws.
All right. Very good. So, one role of the judiciary in the Caribbean. So you're writing full sentences, but because of the interest of time, I will not write in the full sentence. I will just put describe one role of the judiciary to interpret and enforce the laws of the country. And we could also say that it is to ensure that the other branches of government do not exceed right. So this is describing one role of the judiciary in the Caribbean. Then we have here outline one advantage of the first past the post electoral system compared to the proportional representative system. So they are asking here one advantage of the first past the post, it being an advantage to that of proportional representation, which is the only country in the Caribbean that follows the proportional representation system.
Guyana.
Very good, Guyana.
There's still
So
an
other
advantage
than
of SP.
so I'm going to ask, so not somebody from Guyana. So I want somebody else to give me one advantage of the first past the post system, because that is what we use in the other Caribbean countries.
Miss, we vote for candidate.
Was that?
The first passport we vote for the candidate, but the
Very
proportional
good.
they vote for the party.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Good. So that is what, and what makes that an advantage though?
Miss, I have
Because
one.
you, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, finish.
No, go ahead.
Rachel, you go ahead because it was you that responded. So he might have something different.
Okay. The advantage is if you voting for the candidate gives you the opportunity, if you win, to sit in parliament in Grenada here. I'm here. But in Guyana, when you vote for the party, is a percent based on the amount of votes the party get, they get to sit in government.
All right. Good. Francis.
Right. So for the first past the post, basically it gives a community the chance to choose their representative.
Excellent. As opposed
Yes.
to proportional representative that.
So basically they basically vote for the party, not candidate. So
Not the person, yeah.
And what is
yeah.
the disadvantage of that?
It can encourage multiple parties to participate, I guess.
All right, so that's an actual different disadvantage. But what you're talking about there, where you say that the constituency they can choose the candidate that they want to, as opposed to the proportional representation, where you're voting for the party. That means that chances are with the proportional representation, the candidate that you receive is not who you would have wanted or
You
who may
want
not
it. So
represent.
conflict, miss, conflict.
Yes. So it may not
Mhm.
be the person that will represent you because guess what? They're not from your constituency.
You don't even know them. Sometimes you don't even know them.
Correct. Correct. And especially when we're looking at elections, a lot of the time persons vote based on people they know, people who they're familiar with, at least where I'm from. So you see
So,
somebody go up for election and you're like, but I never see that person before. They're not from here.
sometimes we vote for the party.
And then sometimes, yep,
Vote for the party.
vote for the party.
So even if it's a dog or cat that running for your constituency, you're voting because that's your party.
All right.
Mm,
I wanted to hold on to that because I think there's a question close to what you're saying there.
okay.
Right. So the entire answer here says with first past the post, the electorate can choose the candidate who they want to represent them, as opposed to proportional representation, where the voters do not choose a specific candidate but votes for the party. Chances are in the proportional representation they receive a candidate that they did not choose and who does not represent their interests. So that is one advantage when it's of the first party post when compared to proportional representation. The next part of the question says, the newly elected Prime Minister has promised to implement strategies to improve the quality of life of citizens. Suggest 2 actions that a government may take to ensure that the needs of the citizens are met. Explain why each action suggested in D1 is likely to be successful. So, newly elected Prime Minister promised to implement strategies to improve the quality of life. 2 actions that a government may take to ensure that the needs of citizens are met. So, firstly, one action a government could take, and which is very, very, very important, is to employ qualified and efficient persons to work in the civil service. And this is civil or public service. Because you don't want that you go to the hospital and you don't have qualified persons to attend to you. So that is one.
Miss, you also don't want to wait there all day just to get treats with a bandage and to go and ice it.
Right. Good. So you want proper care. Very good. So that's one way. Another way is by directly providing for the basic needs of citizens. How can they do that? Through grants,
Free subsidies and so.
subsidizing good
Providing
education,
welfare.
making education free,
Mm-hmm.
free healthcare.
Providing food cards for those in need.
Yes, so good. So when we look at grants, we're looking at food cards, we're looking at pension. Good. So we're looking at all of those things. Also, they can invest in healthcare services. And when we're talking about investing in healthcare services, making sure that they have the machinery and the resources. Because you don't want to go to the hospital and you need to get an x-ray, but you can't get an x-ray because
It have
We
no
don't have the
X-ray machine.
equipment.
it has no x-ray
They don't have
machine,
no
or
extra machine.
the x-ray machine not working.
Miss, either that or it have like at least 100 people in front of you and you can't go yet.
Because it only have one.
It only have one
Inefficient.
and the next one break down.
Correct. So based on your responses, it means that we all know about these things. So
Mm-hmm.
when these kind of questions come, we could just remember either the stress we went through or the stress we don't want to go through, and you produce that as your answers. So let me just put the answers here: employing efficient and qualified persons to work in the civil and public service. So we spoke about that. Why would employing efficient and qualified persons to work in the civil and public service be successful?
Productivity.
Very good. Productivity. When you go there, you can get the necessary assistance and help that you need. And we could even go beyond the healthcare system. We could go as simple as license office or the birth paper office. You go
About
there and
paper.
nobody knows what form you have to fill out. So it's just to ensure that you get the service and the assistance that you go there for. So let me put in that answer there.
Mr. Much marks is that so far?
So this is 2, and then the explanation is 2. That's 4.
No,
So if you
no
look at
one would have covered so far.
what we did before.
Yeah, basically everybody would have capitalized on all those questions before.
Right. So the marks here at the end of the questions.
2, 6.
So all the questions is they are worth 14 marks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss,
Yes.
see if my answer right in the chat. See if it correct.
Tell it to me, because remember I'm typing as well on a different screen, right? So tell me.
Never mind.
Okay, I will just watch it, right?
You don't have to be afraid. Your answers doesn't have to be exact like Miss
And,
Sons. You can
and
use your own
this is
words.
what I said from the start. We here to learn and to pick up as much as we could. So it's not a courtroom, you won't be judged. It's a classroom setting. We're here to learn. So don't worry about it. So improving facilities in rural areas, yes, because it have persons living there. So improving services like health care services, education services, by providing more schools and all of that. So yes, you just need to explain yourself so that even though it may not be textbook correct, when you explain yourself, they are able to know what you're trying to say. And as I always, and I've been saying, throw in an example. When in doubt, throw in an example.
So like schools and health and everything.
Yes. Remember, I have persons living in those areas too, and they are citizens as well. Right. So I'm just putting in this answer. And the other one we looked at, we can look at directly providing for the basic needs, where we spoke about the grants, pensions, and all of
Excuse me, miss. Can you just scroll back up to the action one, please?
Okay, so let me type the action 2 and then I will scroll back up, right? So that will just give you
Okay,
all
no
time to
problem.
review it. So let me just finish type action 1. Right, so we have action 1 there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to put in the explanation. Right, so we have explanation 2 there. Right, let's go on to question number 3. So we see how quick and easy we were able to do the first 2 questions. Question 3, define the term population distribution. A quick definition, it's for 1 mark. So we know
And some people are spread across the region.
spread out across a geographical area or country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's for 1 mark, as I said. So they're not asking you to go into no in depth. Just literally say what you think it is with a brief definition. So population distribution is the way that a population is spread out across a region or geographical area. And that's your 1 mark. State the type of map used to show population distribution.
That
Anybody?
map.
The dot map.
At that
Map.
map.
That map.
That map shows exactly how much, or it represents exactly how much persons or how the population is distributed. Describe
What kind of
how
population statistics we use?
they ask what type of map.
Miss Bally, my name.
They ask what type of map.
Yeah, Mrs. Our website is going. You just type of the country and you will see it.
So for this question here, because they ask specifically what the type of map, because even if you go on the population, what it is? What's the website?
The population statistics.
Right. They would have used a dot map to get the population distribution. So it's a dot map. And also read the questions properly so that you are able to answer accurately. So describe how each of the following factors might influence population distribution. So we know that population distribution is how the population is spread out or where people live. So this is asking to describe how physical features of the land will influence where the people live.
Barren land.
So like some people prefer to live on flat land,
Good. So
some
that's
like fertile.
good. So that's how I was going to engage you on. So features of the land will include flatlands, mountainous,
Mountainous,
swampy,
Yeah.
rocky, and all of that. So we know that for the
stony.
features of the land,
Miss, what
people.
about the soil?
Okay, yes, even the fertility of the
So
soil
like
as well.
Yeah.
So we know that persons will more be attracted to live in places of flatland, fertile soil, as opposed to going to live in the mountainous
Then
areas or swampy areas.
stony road.
Good. Let's look at the presence of good infrastructure. When we're looking at infrastructure, we're talking about roads, water,
Water,
electricity.
electricity, schools,
Good. So
hospital.
that the population distribution will be in those places where there is good infrastructure. People will want to live there. Those areas will be populated because people enjoy the comfort of good roads, running water, electricity, schools nearby, police stations, and all of that. So let me put in that. Let me just type it in. Physical features of the land. So as I said, I am not writing in full sentences, but you all need to put your answer in full sentences. So I'm just kind of cutting down the time by just answering. Okay, what's happening? And the presence of good infrastructure. So, just two actions that a government may take to reduce the number of persons who migrate from rural areas into the city.
Miss,
So,
can you
what?
just go back up for 1 second?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. So, we're looking at what the government can do to reduce the number of persons migrating from the rural areas. We know the rural areas are like the countryside into the cities. Usually, the rural areas may not have amenities and services like proper roads, water, and electricity. It might not have enough schools, or it might not have job opportunities. So, what can the government do to reduce the number of people leaving those areas to go to the cities where these things may be available?
You could put the
Create
things within the
jobs.
Providing these
city.
Have
amenities.
infrastructure
Create
within the
job
rural
in the rural
areas.
area.
Better
Right.
healthcare, education.
Miss also more transportation for these areas, public transportation.
Good. Very good. So I will.
Miss, as well as in the countryside, there are lots of like places you could utilize to like, you know, like you could add schools, like just develop the whole countryside on a whole.
Very good. So I will put I'll put three because I heard three. No, I'll put two. They asked for two, I'll put two, and just in the interest of time as well. So we have provided services and amenities that are lacking in the rural areas that would have attracted persons to the cities. So how or why would this be successful? Why would providing the services or the amenities in the rural areas be successful in not reducing the number of persons to migrate?
Because they wouldn't have to leave their area to go to another area just to get healthcare and education and stuff like that. They
Very
just stay
good.
in their own area.
Very good.
Miss, why they put so much lines to write the action?
I'm saying,
Yeah, because I mean, we
Yes.
had to write a whole story, then come back and still write a story again.
No, so that is in
Sometimes
case
takes
you
you.
have much to say. But as you
Well,
can
I mean, how much
see,
story we could
Essay does
say? If we
never
say too
have
much there,
much
we didn't
to
have much to
say.
say. We didn't have much to explain again. Takes you just setting up people, you know.
as God.
and it's only 2 marks, eh? So that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's where you
What they
have to
doing us that
remember.
for?
That's where you have to remember too. Hi, it's only 2 marks for one action. I don't need to write all of this.
Miss, may I ask you a
So,
question?
Miss, the little piece, I think there's 2 marks, right?
Yep.
Okay. So even
Yes.
even if I get one line, two
You
marks.
should only get
Right
one.
big. Right big.
Even if he writes big, it's the
Right.
same limited idea he might have.
I find a lot of lines. I mean, you could write a little
So you had
sentence
a
and so
question?
much. I was asking Miss, if we capitalize on those questions there and we don't on the essay, you think we still okay to pass?
So I will choose not to answer that because I want you to capitalize on the essay.
Miss,
Yeah,
the
Miss,
reason
I've
I'm
been
asking is
thinking.
I didn't go to much classes. I just tried to do my thing on my own, so I didn't get like the format as to how to go about
Okay,
doing that section. And then only tonight I realized that you may ask to do a
let's see.
not essay, the other one. Tell
The
me,
strategies and
the
the
the article,
explanation.
Or
Okay.
the
the
article.
article.
So
Yeah, so
when all are essays, but it's just the format of the essay. So it might be an article, it might be a letter. The only thing is the format. So if you have to write an article, you write it in an article format. If it's a letter, you write it in a letter format where you put dear sir or madam or whoever it is addressing. It might be a
Jesus.
speech, and they will.
Oh.
Or
So the essay part,
mhm.
in the earliest I couldn't speak because I was at work, but somebody did an essay
Yes.
about the different types of religion. That was a nice essay. But so you have to do that was an article she did, I think. Was an article? That
Yes.
was an article. So with the essay now, each question is basically a different paragraph. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So each bullet point that they would have highlighted, you put it in
Uh-huh.
paragraph form.
So the
Like
So, Miss,
your introduction is going to be basically on the first question they ask you, or what the
no,
topic is.
the introduction will be on what the topic is and what you are going to say in your essay,
Okay, so
briefly.
if they ask you first to define family, let's say for instance, that's to define family. Your introduction is going to be on family before you actually define it. Yeah.
Yes. So it will. So let
Okay.
us say, for
So you can
instance,
say what a family consists of, blah blah blah, and then you're going to so.
no, that's it. That's it. That's definition. So listen, right? If they
Mhm,
ask you, so we're using the same topic as family, and they
mhm,
ask you to write a speech speaking to single parents on the topic of family and child development. Your
mhm.
introduction will be, well, you start off in a speech. Good day.
That's for the
Um,
article. That's for the article.
this is for if they ask you to write a speech.
Or the article. Is it the same?
It's no, it's not the same because one might be an article for a newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
one might be a speech addressing single parents,
Mm-hmm.
one might be just an essay, they might just say write an essay.
Okay, so how you go about with the essay?
So the essay format is the easiest. So if they ask to write an essay, you do your introduction, um, about whatever is the topic, because usually they give you a sentence or a line that
Mm-hmm.
is the topic. So it might be
Okay,
family and child development.
okay.
Excuse me,
So you
miss. You
use,
could just scroll up a second, please.
sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then you go into your
Your
essay.
definition.
Yes,
So
if it asks you
every
to
every
define,
bullet is a different paragraph.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then you say in conclusion or I conclude, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Mm-hmm.
to the topic and
Yes.
your reasoning. Okay. So it's like in English when you're doing your argumentative or your persuasive essay,
This is
something like that. But
so
you
just
wouldn't say first, you could say however, in
we
addition.
correct,
Okay.
correct,
All right.
correct.
So I had to
And
memorize it because I didn't do
you
much
just need to
classes.
remember the formatting, the formatting, the formatting. If they ask to do a letter, do it in a letter format.
So you have to make up your address and so then, or they might give
Yes,
you the information.
yes,
Jesus.
yes.
You
Don't
go back
you
to English there?
don't you worry. So question number 4,
Miss,
study
you
the
just
map.
go up a little bit, please. I want to take a screenshot at the
Oh,
action.
here.
Yes, thanks.
So study the map below and then answer the questions that follow. State the name of the region circled at A. What region are we seeing
Is
there?
the thing that says the Caribbean?
Hello, I do not want any Caribbean person telling me they think it's the
The
Caribbean.
Caribbean
Because
Sea.
oh,
I don't know the map, but my somebody told me it's the Caribbean. I
It's
don't
the
know. I
Caribbean
don't know.
region.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you lovely Caribbean people here.
mhm.
Identify the compass direction shown by the arrow at B.
Is
West,
West,
Um
west,
Q.
West.
West,
State the name of the line of latitude at 23.5 degrees north, which is above the equator, right above the
so
equator.
Miss, why are we
there's
doing
Cancer.
Yes, that is Tropic of Cancer. But
So
you're asking why we doing geography?
that's what I want to know too.
Miss, why are you doing
Probably
map
could ask
in
CXC.
social studies?
Ask CXC that.
Because
I'm
I
just
hope this will come
facilitating.
tomorrow. I really hope this will come tomorrow.
So good, I didn't.
Define the term natural hazard. We did this when we looked at the regional development question. I told you all that in the regional development question, they look mostly at natural resources and that kind of thing. So define the term a natural hazard. So a natural hazard is a potential disaster which is caused by nature
Yeah, it goes around.
or geological events. So give me some example of natural hazards.
A
Bushfires.
volcano, hurricane. But they said they don't want none that caused by the weather.
No, I ain't reached that question yet. I was just asking.
Bushfires.
We have fires. There's a natural hazard if there's a lot of heat.
That's bushfire, yeah.
Hurricane,
Tsunami.
tsunami.
Tsunamis.
Tsunami.
Hurricanes. Floods.
Good. Right. So we know what we could give some example of natural hazards. So let us say, for instance, here when you were defining this term, you find that your answer not sounding like a textbook answer. Drop in an example so that
Of
they will
course.
know that you know what
You
you're
know
doing.
what you want to see.
Yes. Identify one natural hazard caused neither or neither by weather nor climate that can affect the Caribbean. So not weather, so that eliminates hurricane, nor climate.
Miss Earthquake.
So earthquakes,
Earthquakes.
Mudslide.
what
Floods.
Okay.
Tsunami.
nobody ain't saying pollution. Somebody message and say global warming good. I tell you all, I'm trying to navigate the two screens.
There's a mudslide.
Or
Option.
landslides,
Floods.
floods. That not caused by
But they said by neither by weather nor climate.
climate.
So we can use those.
Rainfall is not part of climate.
Yeah. As I say, we can't by
Yes. Deforestation. So anyone, because it's one mark.
yeah.
Right? Let's go to come on. So just two ways in which social media could be used to help the citizens of the Caribbean to be better prepared for natural hazards. Explain why each way suggested is likely to be successful. So, in one of the questions before, we spoke about using social media to reach a lot of people and all of that.
So what yeah.
So let's go with that. So they could use social media to send notices and warnings about the occurrence of natural disasters. Because some of us, that's how we know what's happening around us and even in the world through social media. So that they could use social media to send notices and warnings. This would be successful because it is a quick way to reach a large population in a
Fastest.
space of
Yeah.
Fastest way. The fastest way, miss.
exactly. So it is a quick way to reach a large population in a short
It's your time.
It's a time.
to alert them about the occurrence. It will be successful because a lot of people depend on social media and they use social media. A lot of people use and depend on social media for news
As and it could decrease the loss of lives because if you get a message
out.
quick enough, you could batten down, you catch water and all these
Yes, you
things.
have enough time to prepare.
Right. Yeah.
Good. Another way they could use social media is to educate the public
Yeah, about
about
the
disaster preparedness. So as I said, just writing it shorthand, but you need to. By the time you start writing a full sentence,
ego flow.
three
Ego
marks
flow.
already, three lines
Yeah,
already.
ego flow.
Like you could like go deeper where you say educated public.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like what you mean.
Educate the public about disaster preparedness. So
To make emergency, how to safeguard yourself, like
I,
to strap down, to
I probably will tell.
fasten your
I probably will
windows,
tell my age when I
to secure
refer
your
to.
home.
Right. So when I refer to, so I remember on TV, this is before social media, but they could use social media now. It used to have this advertisement, if you are scared, be prepared. And it used to tell you what to do in case of an
Mhm.
earthquake, to duck, go under the table. And they use little skits to teach about disaster preparedness. So the social media now, the same thing can be done.
Like do promotions is like to do promotions on
Advertisements.
preparedness and yeah,
Okay, come on. Right.
advertisements then.
Yes.
Okay.
So they can use it for advertisements. So let me just put in that. Don't
To
start a
share educational contents.
correct.
These areas they miss out capitalize day, but talk at the AC business I know.
You're getting marks there too, don't worry.
Miss, when you finish, you can just scroll down so I can take a
Okay.
screenshot of everything.
Okay.
Miss,
About
this
being
past paper have too much strategies and explanations and not enough of the
all
So
definition.
all
if
papers are
that section easy. You all just have to know strategies, education, counseling, financial, economic, all those things, they are strategies that you can use. You just
policies.
expound on it. Government
Policies.
policies, rules. It's just based on the question, you know which strategy to use. So just know the different strategies and then we okay.
Correct.
We okay. And if it's government, it's things like education and policies,
So we have using it for advertisements that will educate the public about being prepared for natural disasters will be effective. The
which could reduce the
content,
loss of life and so.
yes, the content can reach a large audience, shared easily and easily accessed. Because we know we have all the social media platforms.
TikTok.
It's quick and easy to send off somebody a video. It's quick and easy to put your camera up and you make a video.
Hmm.
Um, the person who wanted me to scroll up, how far up you needed me to scroll?
Just to the second set. The one that you just
Okay. This is here. Way two or the entire question?
the way to you could give me the entire question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss, what you think and come for this section?
Miss, I already take the screenshot. You can go ahead.
All right. Section B.
Hey, yeah,
So
you.
quickly we would have finished section A, section B, the essay type question. This one is about culture and diversity. So just as I would have mentioned to you all, it must be written in essay format. It's 18 marks for content and 4 marks for organization and development of your essay. So they tell you to write your response on the rule pages. There's space if you need that for your brainstorming. As I said to you, when you read a question, use this space here. You see this space here to make your notes. Answer these questions here first. And then come to start to write your essay. So, as a young cultural ambassador, you have been asked to write an article for the local newspaper. So, one time you know your format is an article for a
Article.
newspaper. prepare an article on the topic above, which is celebrating cultural diversity in the Caribbean. So in your introduction, you will speak and said this is what you'll be looking at, celebrating cultural diversity in the Caribbean. In your article, so your first paragraph, state 2 cultural forms which are present in the Caribbean. We have several cultural
Music.
forms. So we have music, someone is saying.
Music.
We have language. We have food. We have dance, music,
Storytelling.
language. We have festivals. We have religion. They're just asking for 2. As I say, I just put in the answers for time. Explain 2 reasons for the cultural diversity which exists within the Caribbean region. So they want you to explain, they want you to go in a bit of detail as to the 2 reasons for cultural diversity.
Miss, is it true that they take
Migration.
out tourism?
They
They
didn't
put it
take
back.
out
They
tourism,
put it back.
they would have incorporated in regional integration.
I
Migration
don't
is a
think I
set.
ain't studying tourism.
So they
But
didn't take
tourism
it out.
usually,
So they didn't take it out. They would have put it within regional integration. So they might ask a question about how tourism affects the region's ability to come together, or how can tourism or how can the Caribbean show cooperation through tourism. So they kind of incorporate it into regional integration. So it's not separate again. So 2 reasons for the cultural diversity.
Migration.
Oh, good. Very good. So we have the history of colonization, where
absolutely.
we have the Europeans coming. We have the history of slavery, and we have the history of indentureship. And as someone said, migration, because all of these persons would have migrated here for
Only
these
migration I know.
3 different purposes. So when they say to explain, you will say, okay, the history of colonization, where the Europeans would have come to the Caribbean region to colonize it. Slavery, where the Africans were brought here to work on sugar plantations. Indentureship, where the Indians or the Chinese would have come to replace the Africans after emancipation to continue the work on sugar plantations. And then you have the migration of like the Syrians and the Lebanese who would have come to establish businesses here. So when they say explain, you need to go into that detail. The next one is asking to outline one benefit of cultural diversity within the Caribbean. Yeah, within the Caribbean. So one benefit of having all these people coming to the Caribbean, these different people bringing the different cultures.
And a Valentine.
Right. So what we can say.
Tourism.
Right, very good. Good. So here's how we tie in both of your answers. What we can say is the formation of a unique Caribbean culture, because there are things that we would have formed here in the Caribbean that is unique to us based on our diversity. So somebody said carnival, that is unique to us, and which can be used to attract tourists, because somebody spoke about tourists.
Yeah, most people travel to see the carnival.
Correct. And to boost the tourism industry. Good. Then the next question says to suggest 3 actions that community groups may take to recognize the cultural diversity of the Caribbean. So we're looking at community groups. They were specific. They didn't say countries. They didn't say governments. Community groups could take to
So
recognize.
like schools,
Right. So
like
school.
workshop, like school to do workshops.
Very good. So communities could host festivals and celebrations as a
Partaking in
community
like
event.
these different celebrations and appreciating the culture.
Very good. So I'll give an example. So again, you could put in the example here. Oh my goodness, why the example just went? Hindus celebrated it. It's be like for a whole week. They have it in my
Ramadan,
community.
the Muslims serve the Ramadan.
Not Ramadan. Ramadan is
Diwali.
Muslims.
Diwali.
not the what? Wow, Ramlila. That is it.
Ram who?
Ram Ramlila.
I never hear what that.
You don't live in a Hindu community.
Mm-mm.
That's why I would have probably okay. I would have heard about it after, of course. But in my community, it's celebrated for like a week or two, where they do the reenactment of Ram saving Sita, and they usually have things on sale. It's a whole thing, and it's held by the community. The community can also create youth programs or host workshops, as somebody was saying, host workshops to teach and educate the public about the different cultures that exist within their community or even in their country. As I say, I type in shorthand because for time. Also, they could work to preserve local practices and traditions. And I'll give an example of this. Simple as the lighting. Again, I could only use my community. The lighting of diyas for Diwali night, we can go to the town and there is all the bamboo set up and all of that with the lighting of diyas, and you could participate. So this is part of working to preserve the local practices and the traditions. Also, ensuring that, like somebody said, in schools, you continue teaching it in schools. You could go to the schools to host the workshops. So instead of creating a program, you could go to the schools in your community and host workshops and all of that.
Miss, what
To
about museums?
what about museums? I want you to tell me about museums because you just can't tell me what about museums.
What
Any
about
Caribbean country
like
can museum?
what about putting like certain aspects of different community cultures in the museum?
Very good. So the communities could come together and create an exhibit where they could put in the museums. Right. So you see, you can't just tell me what about museums. Explain how any two of these actions are likely to be successful. So let's look at
They could
host.
bring people together.
Yes. So let's look at the first one where we look at hosting festivals and celebrations as a community. It will be successful because it will keep the culture alive in the community. And also, it encourages tolerance among members of the community. So, like me, I don't belong to the Hindu community, sorry, but I wouldn't go to Ramlila and make a ruckus because I know how sacred it is for them. So it teaches me or it encourages me to be tolerant of the members of my community that celebrate this festival or who host this festival. So let me put that keeps the culture alive in communities and encourage.
Introduces misunderstanding and disrespect and all.
Correct. So that's what when we talk about tolerance, that's exactly what we mean there. And when we look at creating youth groups and hosting workshops, this helps as it helps to pass down the culture by teaching the younger generation. Because that is something with some of our culture, it is being lost because the younger generation is not being taught on the different aspects of culture and the traditions and all of that. So these workshops helps to pass down the culture by teaching the younger generation about the culture. And then you conclude your essay, just reiterating your points, your main points and your answers, and that's the end of your essay. And the second
Miss, you
essay,
can scroll up a little bit so I can take a screenshot,
sorry,
please. You could go ahead.
right, and the second essay, and of course it will be the last that we do tonight because I'm seeing it's 3 minutes to the hour. Sustainable development and use of resources. Chances are, hopefully, you don't get a regional integration essay. They might just give you one just like this.
So where think they can bring it on?
I can't tell you. So because they changed the format, I don't have enough material to work with because usually I predict accurately some
Miss,
of
what
the.
you mean they changed the format? Miss, what you
I
mean?
feel like they can bring tourism, how they change it.
This wasn't the format before. So it was because I was able to study the past paper questions. Like in 2024, I was able to tell my class the first two questions, and as I predicted, those were the first two questions. I told them what essay might come, and that was the essay that come. But because we don't have much material to work with, it's a luck and chance, is a prayers and a hope. But you all are ready for regional integration because we did that. We did a
Miss,
question. Yes.
is it I wouldn't say I don't know how to say it, but is it true that we only gain one essay in the social, or is it two essays for sure?
It's two
Because
essays
I
and
gain
it's,
one essay.
it's two essays and it's two mandatory essays. Meaning you have to do the two.
Okay. Because I was saying that I cut down one essay and it only had like suggestions on successfulness
Oh no, no.
questions.
You have your essay to do. Sustainable development and use of resources, protecting the environment for the present and future generations. So, Rachel, as I was telling you, the introduction is usually simple because they gave you this. You see this line here? This makes the
Mhm.
introduction. And they always give you a line.
So how
So,
you start that now?
right, so let's just see what they're asking you to do. So, as the president of the school's environmental club, you are asked to address the Parent Teacher Association on the topic above. So, that means you're giving a speech. Write in a
Mhm.
speech, write a speech, sorry, in which you. So, firstly, it's a speech. So, you're saying good morning to the parent because you're addressing the Parent Teacher Association.
Mhm.
As the president of the school's environmental club, I am here today to speak about, and I give the topic, protecting the environment for the past and future generations. We will look
Okay.
today, or we will talk about today, sustainable development and what can be done to, or as a result of climate change, or to reduce the causes of climate change. And you begin your essay?
So
Anything,
then,
anything.
let's have a try.
Yes, you have
Same.
it. Don't worry, you all have it. You all have
That's
it.
what that's just the maths to the I say I have it.
Somebody will come in the chat tomorrow, please the Lord, after the exam and say, Miss, we get that. So the first thing they're asking you to do is to define the term sustainable development. So, simple definition: sustainable development refers to the benefits which a nation derives from the wise use and management of its resources to ensure its present and future growth. So you have your definition there. Then the next part of the question is asking identify 2 natural resources other than agricultural lands that need to be preserved. So we have a whole list of natural resources that needs to be preserved because it's probably non-renewable. Probably some of them are non-renewable and some of them have to be preserved because of the time that it is replenished or restored. So we have minerals. And when we talk about minerals, of course, we're talking about bauxite, gold, aluminum, limestone, all of those things. So you could generalize it if you want, minerals, or you can go into each. Then we have forests is one as well, and water bodies. Then we have to explain 2 ways in which farmers might help to conserve agricultural land. So they're specifically asking about farmers, how they can conserve agricultural land. One of this is by how they plant or how they plow. So we have contour plowing. You might know that term, but you might be able to say plowing across slopes and hills, as opposed to up and down. Because this helps rainwater to be absorbed rather than running straight down the slope. And if the water is running straight down the slope, what does that cause?
A landslide.
Landslide or soil erosion. So you could even go on to explain all of that. So it's 4 minutes past 10, but we almost finished. So if you could just spare me some minutes of your time.
Miss, you safe.
All right, and we have fallow and crop rotation. You could just put crop rotation because you might not know what is fallowing. So this is when the land is given time to lie or to rest. So you're not planting on it every time. So it's given time to rest, to lie fallow. Soil quality and output improve. This just simply means the soil getting time to rest. Rotating crops also benefits the soil. A third one, although they only ask for 2, a third one could be the use of organic fertilizers, because we know fertilizers can get into the water streams and water systems. And that is chemical, but if they use organic fertilizers, it will not have a negative effect. Fertilizers, right. So that's just a third one I throw in there, but they only asked for 2. And then they said, suggest 3 actions that a government might take to reduce the causes of climate change. Come on, we know that.
Educating persons on the effects of climate change and
Very good. So we have
better,
educating.
how to put it, better practices for, I forget the word.
That is nothing. You have it. Educating the public about climate change. What else can the government do? Come on. We say we rotating these suggestions. We rotating them or no?
The restriction on the burning of fossil fuels.
Very good. So they could um, create laws and policies restricting persons from burning fossil fuels, or as you said, putting a ban on fossil fuel burning, creating laws and policies.
Miss, what was the
Cons-
question again?
Three actions the government might take to reduce the causes of climate change.
To try again?
Conservation,
Oh,
conservation and preservation initiatives. So things like having campaigns, um, planting back trees in forested areas. So I'm just putting it in these quick point forms, but of course you know that you need to elaborate. Invest in renewable energy alternatives. So using sunlight, using wind energy. And the last part is saying, asking here, to explain why any two of these suggestions is likely to be successful. So through
And
the use,
laws could create persons to like have a limit.
And if they're
So
uh-huh,
just
educated, if they're
all,
educated,
and you have a
miss,
fine to pay if such is breached.
very good.
and if you're
More
Precious,
educated,
information.
so if you're educated on if you've been educated on it, you will know how to handle it.
But what if you're not educated? That's the point.
Well,
well,
remember
this
we
is your
use education.
if
So
educating is one of your suggestions.
yes, educating the public was one of the suggestions. So I'm going back to
Yes.
it.
So you go back to it.
It's I'm just using words. We don't have to be,
Yeah, you don't have to complicate it. Go
mm,
back to what you would have suggested. We say
and
yes to.
write on it.
Right? So this is somebody was saying that with the enforcing the policies and enforcing law, sorry, that they if you put a penalty or a fine, persons will be deterred from
I'm
um,
burning the bush and destroying it. I think.
correct.
Yeah.
Also by investing in renewable energy alternatives, governments can reduce the use of CFCs, fossil fuels, and greenhouse gases. All of these things increases climate change. Right. And that is the end of your second essay.
Miss, can you scroll so I can take a screenshot? You can scroll down so I can take them. Thank you.
And that is the end of the paper. If you are finished before time is called, check your work on this test.
Miss, don't forget to send me the formats, please.
Yes, I will send it in the WhatsApp chat
Please.
as opposed to here because when we end the call, we end the call here. So I will send it in the WhatsApp chat. All right. So Godspeed in your exams tomorrow, please, the Lord. We would have done questions ranging throughout the whole entire syllabus. So if you were able to participate and all of that, thank you for participating. And you all should be ready. We will see what tomorrow holds. Um, say prayers before you start, and have confidence in yourself. Don't second guess yourself, and you will be able to pass the exam. Don't you all worry about it. Okay? So thank you for having me. And
Thank
this
you,
is really
Miss.
sad.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Have a good exam
Bye,
tomorrow.
Miss.
Thank
Bye
you.
Night,
bye.
Good night.
Good
Miss.
luck,
You too.
everyone.
Thanks, miss.
You
Same to
too.
you,
Bye
Rachel.
All the
bye.
best in your exam.
Thank you.
Everybody in the group, right? So that they could have access to the thing.
Yeah, I
Okay,
text.
good. So I'll send that there now.
Mm-hmm.